going on, guys? Welcome back to NetworkChuck. Today we're talking about hacking. Hacking is one of those things where it looks really cool in the movies and the TV shows, but what is it actually? And can you become one? Can you make good money doing it? A lot of questions. And if you're looking to become a hacker, how do you grow as one? Because hacking isn't just typing on a screen and making a few clicks, and it's not that easy. There's a lot that goes into it. So that's why I asked a real-life hacker to come on and talk about that. Mr. NahamSec, I think I'm saying it right. You are on the screen right now. Say hello to everyone.
Hello. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, dude. So I'll let you introduce yourself in a moment. But guys, this is NahamSec. You probably already know who he is. He's on Twitch. He does a lot of stuff for the community. He teaches hacking, and he himself is a hacker. And real quick, guys, let me know in the chat if you can hear me. But while we're so let me know, and then his name is also Ben, by the way. He has a real name, not just NahamSec. Ben NahamSec, tell me about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Ben. Most people know me online as NahamSec. I've been hacking professionally since 2014, 2015. I'm currently the head of hacker education at HackerOne. We're a bug bounty platform. We pretty much make content for people that want to get into bug bounties, web hacking. We make videos, labs, CTFs. And yeah, I've been on HackerOne. I started out as an intern back in, I want to say 2015 or 16. It's been a while. I've lost count, to be honest. After the second year, you stop counting. But I've been there for a while, and yeah, I've been got into making content back 2 years ago in July, not this, July, the July before, doing stuff, just like yourself on YouTube and doing some streaming on Twitch.
Awesome. So, I mean, your job is pretty much helping hackers become hackers, better hackers. So real quick, if I were 17 years old and I'm like, I don't know what to do with my life, hacking sounds pretty cool. Where do I start? And it's a loaded question because I know there can be so many things you can tell me, but what would you say is the best place to start to become a hacker?
Yeah, so before the hacking part of it, like there's one thing you gotta do. Like when you're 17 in high school, dude, all you have is time. If you're not working, all you have is time. Quit playing freaking video games. Like we did it. I did CS:GO. I'm sure you did. You wasted hours of your life playing
Call
CS:GO.
of Duty.
Like, Call of Duty, quit. World of Warcraft, League of Legends, whatever you're into, quit it. Don't quit. Like have your breaks, but quit wasting time. Like the biggest thing for me was I would play video games, but I had my dedicated hours. Not that like I was like, oh, I'm gonna hack 3 to 8 p.m. But I would dedicate time to it. But there are so many resources, man. Like in 2020, like the amount of hacking resources that are out there, it's insane. You have companies like TryHackMe, Hack the Box. You have Hacker 101, which is our HackerOne educational platform. Ours is free. The other two are not free. There's Pentester Lab. I have a GitHub repo for it. If you look up bug bounty resources, it comes up. There are so many free resources out there that you shouldn't have the excuse of, I don't have anything to learn from. So I would say go and just jump right into it. Figure out what kind of hacking you want to get into. What are the basics? I know you have to know a little bit of Linux. I have to know a little bit of, scripting. I need to know JavaScript, HTML, networking. Learn the basics. You don't have to become a full stack developer. That's not fair to put it out there, but learn the basics. Learn if you want to get into web hacking. How do I make a website? How do I spin up a server? How do I make an Apache MySQL PHP server go up? What are the things that, the bolts that become the part of that website when it goes up? Put some, HTML sites up so you can understand, okay, this is how a site works. Now I can understand how to approach it when I want to break it.
Now, I have to say, 17-year-old me just stopped listening and went back to playing video games because that was overwhelming. Like, I asked you where to start, and you told me 15,000 things, man. Which one is it? And I'm just messing with you. But hacking is a term that we know from Mr. Robot and a few movies. But what people don't understand is there's just a bunch of underlying technologies you have to understand. Networking, Linux, and all that stuff. So would you say that it's more beneficial to learn those basics before even trying to hack, or would you say you'll just learn them as you start hacking?
I would do both. So first start learning the basics, and then the things that you understand, okay, when I'm doing hacking, I see these terms that are happening, like, and don't know what they mean. It goes under the Linux bucket, for example. Start learning more about Linux. But I always compare hacking to even video games, dude. Like when you first start playing a new game, your aim isn't the best. You don't understand the guns. You don't understand the attachments. You don't know how to do a lot of things, right?
Like that.
How do you get better, right? How do you get better? You spend time. You start playing the game more. You start grinding late nights to get better at the game. It's the same thing. If you're playing a puzzle game, you get stuck, you're gonna look up solutions, right? You're gonna look up something. You're gonna see how other people have approached it. So it's the same thing with hacking. You Google. If you look at my streams, I Google the most. It's not that I want. It's not that I don't know how to do them. I purposely Google stuff on my stream so I can show people. Look, even I still go on Google and type stuff up just to make sure I get the right syntax. So I'm
I
not
like
spending
that.
45 minutes debugging it on a stream versus just doing a simple Google search, showing that hey, also I look at these stuff when I'm hacking. You don't have to become, this like person that knows everything by heart. You just have to know where to look and what to look for when you're searching.
Yeah, that's amazing because what people don't get is you don't have to know. In general, just in IT, no one in IT knows everything. Google is your best friend. Really, honestly, the best skill you can learn in IT is just how to properly search Google because that's a skill in and of itself. Oh my gosh. So I love the comparison to video games because, man, it feels like hacking is almost one big game. You've got all these websites like Try Hack Me and Hack the Box, where it's literally kind of gamified. You go in there and you try to hack into something, and you're learning a ton as you go, but it feels kind of like you're playing a game. Why do you think that is, that hacking has become kind of that gamified atmosphere?
I think it's mostly an engagement thing. Like, okay, we know that you have to do these technical things, right? How do we make it more fun? Like how do we make people want to do these things? Like if we give them an objective, is it going to be easier? If we give them points, leaderboards, whatever that is, I think as humans, we like to have fun with everything that we do.
Mm-hmm.
We want to get some sort of a satisfaction. We want to hit, we want to get that rush or a high, whatever you want to call it. We want to get that feeling of I did it. And I think that's why everyone's gamifying it so much, because we want it to become something that you enjoy doing. You want to go back and do more while you learn something new.
Okay, that makes total sense, and I agree, and I love that they do it because a lot of other IT paths, and I've been talking about IT for a long time on my channel, especially networking, it can be kind of like a frustrating path because it's not always fun, it's kind of boring, but hacking just to me seems like it has the coolest way to learn, and that's why I'm having a great time doing it. But I think it's best to let's find out how you started hacking. How did your journey start out?
So mine didn't really start as a hacker. I want to say mine started mostly as a kid who was using his older brother's computer to get into video games. I just wanted to play video games. Back then it was Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2, Red Alert. Those are my games back then, dude. And I really wanted to play them. So he would put a password to keep me off, and I would brute force is what I found out later on is what it's called. I would type in, I know my brother, I know what he likes, so let's see if I can guess the password. So I started guessing his password. Then he got bitter. He started putting more complex password. Then I was like, oh, there's this default administrator thing that you just type in administrator, no password, you log in as an admin. I was like, oh, that's a real thing. Okay, that was next.
Love it.
And it just got progressively worse, man. Like he started putting passwords on startup. Like, when you turn on your computer, right on the startup, it says password. I found out about what I call now default credentials. Everything has them, apparently. Routers have them, devices have them, same as the computers that you buy. So I learned about it a little bit, but later on, I would say 11, 12, I heard about people that were selling websites. Websites were big back in the day. It wasn't like today when you go pay a few dollars and get your own VPS. You have to pay hundreds of dollars to have a website up. So being 11, 12, my dad, God bless him, he's always supported my entrepreneurships that have always failed, but he gave me a little bit of cash. I became a cPanel reseller. I was reselling websites. And
Wow.
that got
How old were you then?
12, 13.
12 years old, reselling websites. Dude, I was like the biggest idiot when I was 12. I was playing James Bond on the, 007 GoldenEye on my N64 at that age. Golly, you're reselling websites. Anyways, continue.
Websites were big, man. I don't know what it was like for us. It was huge. So I wanted to make money. Always wanted to buy expensive stuff, and it was just like, how do I make money? And I think that's like what I call my failures as an entrepreneur, kicked in. But anyways, my cPanel thing got hacked, and I learned about, okay, like I have to secure an Apache server running PHP. How do I do it? How do I stop these, people defacing my websites? So I did it for a while, and it's a trial and error. You do it for a little bit. I got my own server. People would still hack into it because developers back then didn't really care much about security. So
they still kind of don't, right?
They still don't. No, they still don't. But I gave up. I was like, dude, screw this. I want to be the one that does the hacking. I'm done. I'm done fixing this.
You guys win. I'm joining your team.
Dude, seriously, I put my hands up. I'm done. I started looking into hacking forums, and back then, like, there was a lot of underground forums you can sign up for and learn, and I got into it, man.
Now, what year was this, just for reference?
I'm still 13, 14. I'm still an early teenager, dude. I had plenty of time. And I just learned about some sites that were like online scripts or PHP scripts, something like that. You would go and download scripts, install them locally on your server. This is what I learned. Oh, this is how you install an Apache server better on your local, your local machine. I would install them and just find. Back then, it was easy to find bugs. Nobody cared about security back then.
The good old days.
Dude, you install this script, you would come out with 5 SQL injections, 4 XSS, whatever you were looking for. And that was my way of learning because there weren't really, now you have these platforms like DVWA. You can install them on it's called a damn vulnerable web app. You can install it locally. It's purposely designed vulnerable so you can learn. Those weren't around. So I would find my own, find these bugs, disclose it. If they cared, they would fix it. If they didn't, then sorry, I found a bug in your system or your script. And I just got better. And as I grew older, I kind of got tired of it because, I was 16, 17. Who was going to hire me as a computer hacker back then? So I just went to college and got into partying and gave up.
Wow. Well, that was an interesting turn.
Yep.
So you were 16. What year was this that you were 16 and thinking about becoming a hacker?
So my OPSEC is strong, but I don't think it's public information.
Oh yeah. I'm not trying to dox you or anything.
No, you're good.
I'm social engineering NahamSec right now. Yeah.
2000 and I want to say 2007, before I turned 18, before I went to college, is when I was just like, man, like.
I think we're the same age. Yeah, that's funny. Anyways, so you were 16, and this is websites are popular, iPhone just come out, so like we got a bearing for the technology around the age. But you had in your mind that becoming a hacker was a real career. I had no idea that was a thing. That's pretty cool. So, but anyways, you go to college, you forget hacking, and then what happens?
So the thing with hacking is like back then it's like you have to be this researcher, like you have to do cool research, and like who's gonna take a 17-year-old serious, man? Like that was the thing that I thought. Like I'm 17, 16, no one's gonna take me serious. Like I'm just finding bugs, wasting my time, just trying to I'm just trying to learn because I had a lot of time.
Which again, every teenager has a ton of time. All you watching, you have zero excuses. Anyways, continue. Just want to remind people of that.
One of the videos that I recently did, I did a keynote for Echo Party. It's a big South American conference. I'm not going to get into it too much. I talked about my life. I moved here at the age of 14, 15 as an immigrant without any English at all. So I just moved. This is like sophomore year of high school. I'm just going to school. I'm just trying to make friends. I have a lot of time. I'm not going out with friends to party anymore. So I'm at home a lot of time until I made friends and got into the whole party scene. But I had a lot of time. So I purposely used that time. Not that, some people have a lot of things to do. They go to work, they have a lot of family members to hang out with. Mine was just like going to school, going home, playing some video games. My cousin was my age, would hang out with him for a little bit. But weekends when I had time, just get into hacking. But yeah, this was 2007, 2008. Yeah.
So okay, cool. So you went to college and you just kind of were chilling, whatever. What made you get back into hacking after that?
So I was this is back in 2012, 13. I hated college. There's an article of me on Forbes somewhere when I said don't go to college to learn hacking, like learn on your own pretty much, dude.
So yeah, so you're saying right now, if you want to become a hacker, college maybe not the best way, right? Like, is that kind of what we're going for right now?
You're asking the wrong person because I would say yes. I would say hell yes. You don't need to go to school. Like, there's so much stuff.
We're on the same team, man.
All right, good. We're good. I mean, the thing is, man, like, if you're someone I'm not an academic person. Like, I don't like school. I've never liked school. I moved because I didn't want to go to school. Like, I was like against high school even. It wasn't for me. Having my head, like, trust me, like in the beginning, I had a 3-point-something GPA, but I graduated with a 2.2. I was on probation at some point in college because of how much I didn't care. I was introduced to Bug Bounties, and I was just like, ooh, career, like flashy career. I want to do this thing. But yeah, I mean, don't go to. I mean, if you have the money and you're someone who needs to have guidance, who's good at time management and going to class on time, taking notes, good for you. Go do it because you'll learn a lot more than you would do on your own. You're structured. You're learning things in order. You're learning really good stuff that's gonna build a very strong foundation for you. But if you're someone like me that just, I learned calculus on my own. I would not go to calculus class because I didn't understand the teacher. I would go on YouTube and learn it. If you're like that and you can learn on your own, absolutely don't go to school.
So
Don't waste your
basically,
time.
if you're watching us on YouTube right now, then I guess you got your answer right there. Yeah, I didn't go to I didn't go to college. Like I don't have a degree, and I think it's a waste of time. It's a very expensive way to have your hand held.
Yeah, it's expensive, dude. Save that money and invest it in something else.
I mean, like Hack the Box is like $10 a month, right? I mean, what you get from that is ridiculous. Try Hack Me. HackerOne is free. Like you said, all the free resources. I mean, it's insane the power of the internet now. But anyways, we could talk about no college forever. So
That's a rabbit hole can go down.
So hashtag college sucks. You started getting into hacking again. Walk me through that journey.
So yeah, in 2012, our school had these like weird cybersecurity meetups. They bring the feds out to the campus and they would talk about like hacking and trying to recruit for the feds pretty much. Feds are not something I want to get into federal, hacking. It's not something I want to do. It's a different thing as a hacker when you look at feds. But I heard from a friend, he goes, dude, like, why aren't you making money doing some of these hacking stuff? And I'm like, dude, like, first of all, I'm an immigrant. Like, I don't want to get in trouble. Like, I want to stay low key under the radar. Like, my hacking that I'm learning is just for me. Like, I'm having fun with it. I don't want to go too far with it, whatever. He goes, no. Like, I heard Facebook, Google, and Yahoo back in the day now, it's Verizon Media, whatever the name is now, but they are paying people, dude. Like, if you find bugs on their sites, they're giving you like anywhere from like $300 to like $15,000. Why aren't you doing it? And I was like, what do you mean? It's like Yahoo, like I used that a lot as a kid. Yahoo Messenger was my jam. And I was like, what do you mean? It's like, look up Bug Bounties. Go home, type in, it's like, don't do anything dumb. Don't go hacking companies right now. Like, go look up the word Bug Bounty. Just type it in. Okay. I went home and I typed it in. I'm like, Yahoo's just started paying out. Like, they were doing gift cards for a while, but Yahoo just went from gift cards to actual cash. $250 all the way to $20,000 or something crazy like that.
Wow.
And this is right about when they were going to become a customer at HackerOne, which was before I was even hired at HackerOne. And it's like, oh, okay, let's go look. And I found some cross-site scripting and I completely forgot about it. I was like, okay, I submitted. Like, we'll come back to this later. I'm not going to get paid. This is fake. Like, they just take it and run with it. And no, 2 months later, a month later, I get an email saying, hey, come join HackerOne and claim your $250 that you got. And I actually ended up doing, now that I think about it, I donated that $250 to St. Jude because I wasn't expecting it. And I was just like, oh, I wasn't expecting this at all. Like, can we donate it? And they would match it back then. So they matched my money and we donated $500 to St. Jude. And I was like, wait a minute, like there's money to be made here.
So again, so cool that you donated that. And real quick, for people who don't know what Bug Bounty is, just real quick, what is it?
So Bug Bounty is companies go up on platforms like ours, HackerOne. You can go to hackerone.com/directory or go to Hacktivity. You can see a bunch of the cool stuff that we have done. But pretty much you go and you put up a policy. You say, hey, these are the websites that we own that we want you to test. Please don't test anything else outside of this. And if you find vulnerabilities, we either acknowledge you and say thank you. We put you in our Hall of Fame. You get points. Some people give you T-shirts. They give you their services, VPNs, whatever. And some people are like, no, we will give you cash. You sign up. You find a bug. We'll give you anywhere from this much to this much, depending on how severe your bug is.
That's insane.
It's been a life-changing thing for a kid that I was in college. Literally, like when I used to go back to my college to talk, I would say I roamed around these halls not knowing what to do. And then Bug Bounty showed up and I just stopped going to class because I was just like, opportunity, dude. Like, this is a dream coming true that I can hack without being employed and make money from it.
Which, that's, a lot of people don't know that. Like, I literally had someone comment earlier, they said, wait, you can make money hacking legally? And this is probably news to some people. Like, yeah, it's a legit career. So walk me through. So you got your first 250 from HackerOne, and that I'm sure that was just like crack for you. You're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. What did you start doing after that? Just all out Bug Bounty? Just that's all you did?
So I would wake up. I kid you not. I would wake up around 7:30 a.m. Get on my laptop. I would literally wake up and open my laptop, look for bugs. Try to learn. I run scanners, and the scanners would find me bugs, and I would be like, okay, I'm not reporting these until I find it myself and exploit it alone without the help of the scanner. So I know what a vulnerability was, I know this is a SQL injection here. Can I exploit it? And then I couldn't. I would read the report. I'm like, oh, okay, this is how they did it. And then I would report it. Sometimes I'll be late because somebody else would beat me to it, but sometimes it worked. I would make money from it. And I kid you not, I would I would go to class, open up my laptop, taking notes. I wasn't taking notes. I was hacking. I would leave. There was times that I would literally, like the first day of semester, I couldn't find the class for like 20 seconds. I would look for the classroom or the building. I couldn't find it. I'm like, screw this. I'm not going to this stupid class. I'm going to the cafeteria when I know I can find it. I would sit down and hack. But yeah, it's not healthy. Please don't do it. Like, if you have the mental capacity to do it, then that's your choice. But yeah, I would wake up and learn and learn and learn. And then it came to a point where I no longer was learning. Like, I'm still, every day I'm learning stuff, but I had learned the basics already to a point that I could make money while I focus on things that would make me more money. I had done the initial investment of spending, 8 hours, 12-hour days on the computer to learn these things. Now it was time to make the real money. And it happened because I got a really big payment one day from Yahoo. They paid me $9,000 in a day.
Oh my gosh!
It's a 22-year-old.
What type of vulnerability will get you $9,000?
So back then, this would have been worth $30,000 today with the same company.
Really?
But because the community has grown, we've done more stuff for it. But now it was 3 SQL injections that anybody with basics of SQL injection could have found if they looked in the right place.
Really? Dang, man. Okay, yeah. I'm sure everyone in the chat right now is going to go, okay, I'm sold. How do I start a bug bounty? So we'll cover that here in a moment. So anyway, so you wanted to you got that big bounty. You wanted to get some real money. What did that involve?
So the 9,000 that I got ended up buying me my first car without any debt. I went into a car dealership.
That's amazing.
It was a family-owned. That the same people that were telling me you can't do hacking for a living. It's not a real thing. I walked in. I was like, I want this car. How are you gonna pay for it? I was like, here's a check. How much would you like? And I went home. I parked the car, and I went to my room, and I was just like, I just bought a freaking car. Like, I have money left, a few thousand left, and like I just bought a car without a loan, dude. Why am I not doing more of this? What can I do? This is when things started to go crazy in my head. Like, what else do I need to learn? How do I become more efficient? How do I spend less time on the computer but find more bugs? And it just became okay. And like anything else, you make content, you become scheduled, you automate some of your tasks, you become better at video editing, you become whatever. Video games, you become better at some stuff, right? You do less time to figure things out. It's the same process for me. And I just dedicated I was just like, I'm not going anywhere. This is the place that I want to be.
Awesome. So you became more of a content creator. Do you still do bug bounties today?
So I do bug bounties, what I call irregularly, because I use the term regularly. I do it for fun. I just published something on Snapchat. Me and two of my friends hacked Snapchat a year ago. That the research came out today on HackerOne. You can go to hackerone.com/activity and read it. We hacked Apple back in July, and between the 4 or 5 of us, we made $500,000 in 3 months.
What?
So I do it, I do it. It's to the point, like, I've recently talked about this. I had anxiety and depression because I'm doing so much with my life. And I realized money isn't everything. If you're watching this, you're 17, 18, you want to become a millionaire. There's ways to become a millionaire, but don't lose your sanity over wanting to make money. I realized money isn't everything. So I've toned down on doing bug bounties, after work. I would open up my personal laptop and start hacking at 4 or 5 p.m. And now I take time off for myself, mental health, go walk, run, do some stuff that's good for my health. And whenever I need money or I want to invest in something, I want to purchase something, like for a while, I want to purchase this house that I purely put down the money from bug bounties, dude. The car that I wanted to buy, I did a lot of work. I put a lot of, overtime, what I call it, but it just became to a point that I wasn't healthy anymore. I have a daytime job. I make enough to save up some money and live comfortably. So I don't do it as much as I used to.
Dude, I mean, I love the message you're saying here, because money it's fun, it's awesome, it's why a lot of us are doing what we're doing, but it's not everything, and you can burn yourself out and have a miserable life, be the richest guy out there. That's no way to live. So I'm glad to see you found that balance, and it's hard to say no to money. Like when you see an opportunity like bug bounty hunting, and you can make a ton of money, and you could be a millionaire before long. Yep. But goodness, you can kill yourself, burn relationships, burn your life away. That sucks.
Absolutely, man. There are
But
millionaire hackers, dude. Mentioning millionaires, there are some hackers who have made, I think there's like 8 or 9 of them now on HackerOne that have made over $1 million on HackerOne.
my gosh. So
Big shout
okay,
out to Dog EG, Nathaniel Wakelem, um, Mark Litchfield, Ron Chan. There's so many of them. Those are some of the guys that I'm very proud to call friends that have done this big achievement.
that I can't even compute that. So like, what level of hacker do you have to be at to get to that level to be able to say I made $1 million off of bug bounties?
These are just guys who have been on a computer as a kid. Like we all did hacking as kids, and we spend a lot of time doing it. Some of them have become millionaires over like a year or two.
Gosh.
It's just you have to be good at like time management runs everything, dude. If you know how to manage your time properly, and you know where you're wasting time and you cut that down, you have plenty of time. There's 24 hours in a day, 8 hours of sleep, 16 hours of doing whatever else you need to do. These guys have figured out how to do it.
Well,
But
I
you
like
have to put a lot of work, though. There's a lot. It's not as easy as a 6-hour day, but these guys have spent plenty of time hacking, and they've just not given up. They're relentless, dude.
well, you'd have to be like I would assume. But I like your I don't know if it's your official slogan. I've seen it on your shirts: the eat, sleep, hack, repeat. Did you coin that? 'Cause I like that a lot.
I bought that shirt online one day. I just thought I was like, "Ooh, I want to wear this shirt." And
Just
then
say yes.
came a
It's yours.
photo.
it's your slogan now, and we'll all believe you. So I've got a question from Operator Underdog. I'm gonna put it on the screen real quick. He says, "I turned 15 today. Can I start bug hunting?"
First of all, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Birthday to you. And absolutely, man, like 15 is the great place to start. Like you just have years of years. You can go to if you're gonna go to college, at least you know I've done this whole bug bounty thing. I've learned, but it's hard to learn computers on my own. I'm gonna go to college and learn the basics. I think we have had people over age of 13 on HackerOne. Like the 13 is the limit where we have people doing this. Our first millionaire hacker was 17 or 18, I want to say.
Gosh, that's insane,
Yeah.
man. So what are some of the? So you mentioned that it's hard work, right, to become a bug bounty hunter like that. Is that how? Like, what's the official job title of a bug bounty person? Is it bug bounty hunter?
Bug bounty hunter, hacker, finder, researcher, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, let's go with
Ethical
that.
hacker is one of them.
Do you like the term just being called hacker, or do you? Because I know people are like, oh no, it's pen testing. Oh no, it's bug bounty. Do you like the term hacker?
Oh, I purposely say hacker. It's
Oh,
time for us to change the stigma that comes with the term hacker. I used to say I'm a security researcher. Then
ah,
at one point I was just like, screw this. Like either be proud of it or don't do it at all.
love it.
I'm
Because yeah,
not stealing anything. We're not stealing anything. We're not hurting anybody. We're doing something completely legit and legal.
well, and that's the thing. Like the term hacker just means like someone like you're hacking a system. You're making it do something it wasn't supposed to do for security, for safety, and it's just of course that has a negative connotation. Of course the media lends to that, but it's not that way. So I love that. I love that. You're taking it back. I like that a lot.
It's time for it, man. It's time to make a change of like the bad feeling of people going, "Oh, he does illegal stuff." No, it's just a term that it's always been. Let's just keep it as it is.
Okay, cool. So now, bug bounty is that? I'm gonna ask this question, but I'm like so excited to ask you so many questions. Like I'm interested to like to ask all this. What are some of the disciplines you would say are key for someone pursuing bug bounty? Like, because I know obviously we'll try to hack things, try to find vulnerabilities, but I would assume that someone can't just go sign up for HackerOne and start trying to attack these boxes. It might seem a bit overwhelming. So where would you say someone should start as far as hacking boxes? And then what are some disciplines you would tell someone to maintain to build up those skills that would help them become better?
So there's 3 things that I usually talk about is community, consistency, and networking.
Love it.
And we'll start with the consistency. You can't hack one day, go away for 10 days, and come back and be like, oh, I'm gonna pick it up right where I left it off. It doesn't work that way. Like you got to go back to it. You got to be consistent. Dedicate hours of either a schedule where I'm a routine kind of person. I need to have a routine from this hour to this hour. This is what I'm gonna do. If you like that, you like me. Set up an hour. Let's say every day from 5 to 8, I'm gonna do this. It's okay to skip one day. Like life happens, but don't. It's not a relapse. You don't just say, oh, I missed a day, I'm not gonna do it again. One day, we all have bad days. 2 days, we get sick. Go back to it. Be consistent. And the consistency goes with hacking, learning, not giving up, no excuses. Just do it. No, Nike is not a, it's not an endorsement here, but seriously, do it. Just put up the excuses away and go and do it. And then it goes to the second part of community. Like there's a huge community on Twitter. There's tons of content creators. There's tons of other companies that I mentioned that have resources. Go to these companies. Go to become a part of their community. I did the first thing I did was I signed up for Twitter. I went on Twitter and I followed a bunch of hackers, and I was like, I want to become this hacker. I want to become better than this hacker. And I've told some of these hackers, your blog posts, they come as guests on my networking, the recon show that I do on Sundays as guests. And I tell them, I want you to know, one of my guests, you are the reason why I did this.
Very cool.
I saw your blog post and it got me excited, and I wanted to do exactly what you did. And it took me 2 years to do it, but I finally did that same bug as you did 2 years later. And then the last one is networking. Meet people, man. Like if your end goal is to get a job in security, go to conferences, go watch people's talks, go force yourself to go up and shake someone's hand like, hey, I'm so-and-so, nice to meet you, I liked your talk. They will remember you when you ask them for a job later on. They will remember you when you apply for a company they work at. It's the same thing with bug bounties. You submit a bug to a company like Yahoo, you go apply for a job, you say, hey, by the way, I sent this report 2 years ago to Yahoo itself, and they can ask internally to verify it. And that's how I got my first job. Literally, that's how I got my first job.
Wow. That's like the most amazing GitHub repo ever, just having that on your resume. All the things you legitimately hacked, and that's cool. Now, I have to ask, though, I agree. All the things you just said, community, networking, those are key in like almost every area of IT. Obviously, this year, things have been a bit more difficult to pursue networking and community. How would you say that the hacking community has changed this year, and how can someone take advantage of what's going on right now?
Discord, man. Discord has become the biggest thing. I know you have a Discord probably.
Mm-hmm.
Every content creator has a Discord. Some groups have Discords. Join them. Join them and see what others are doing. How are other people learning? Chat with people. Reach out to people that are the same mindset as you, the same skill sets as you. I have a hacker buddy that I'm always forever grateful. Every time I do a appearance, I always drop his name. Brett Burehouse is a red teamer at a gaming company. I can't mention what, which you can look him up. He goes by the name Zayed. I met this guy randomly 5-6 years ago. He's one of the reasons why I became so good. I reached out to him out of random on Twitter. I was like, hey man, I saw you hacked Facebook. You want to collaborate? Maybe later. A week later, hey man, do you want to collaborate? Yeah, let's talk. Let's go on Google Hangouts. Let's go on Skype. Then him and I met online, met more people. Hey, do you want to join our group? Do you want to join our group? Do you want to join our group? And 2 years later, we built this thing called Bug Bounty Forum. It's a closed group. It's not an open thing you can sign up for, but we invite more. There's 500 of us now.
Wow.
It became bigger and bigger. You can either build your own community or join these communities and talk to people that want to do the same thing. My point with collaboration was find someone who does the same thing as you, is at the same level as your knowledge, or a little bit better, and learn from each other and do things. Have someone to hold you accountable. Have a partner that you can trust. With him and I, we agreed anything we make 50-50, we'll split it right down the middle. No screwing each other. There's no way of anyone getting butthurt over the money because we're strangers at the point. I learned from you. You learn from me. Friend DA is what I call it, a friendly NDA. We don't talk about any of this.
Love it.
And you learn from each other, man. It's the biggest thing you can do. So go join a community on Discord, go on Twitter. There's tons of live conferences now happening on Twitch and YouTube for free. There are smaller groups. Someone invited me to this thing in the UK called InfoSec Hours. They used to do happy hours every week for InfoSec people in the UK. Now they do it live on a Skype call, on a Zoom call.
Oh, cool.
Join these little communities and you would meet people that would want to help you. These are genuine people that are interested in helping other people.
That's one thing I've learned about the hacking community is I'm fairly new to it, and getting into it, just, man, you guys are awesome. It's you're so welcoming and willing to help out. I mean, I've got people on my Discord that are amazing hackers helping people. Like I made some script kiddie like videos talking about DDoS attacks, which, by the way, PSA, don't DDoS anyone ever for any reason. Stop it. Don't do it. But yeah, I made a DDoS video and people are coming in there. Hey, how do I DDoS this company? And they're like, don't do that. No, bad. Let me show you the good stuff. Stop trying to do bad things. So the hacking community is amazing, patient, and super helpful. And one thing I love about it is you mentioned like you and your buddy agree to split the money evenly and just hack and go for bug bounties. What a cool idea, right? Like you've got your friends who maybe you game together. I don't know, you playing World of Warcraft, you're doing raids and stuff. Like, you're doing that kind of stuff. Why don't you get together and like start hacking together? That's amazing. It's like your warriors suiting up and going in. Like that's awesome. What other career can you say that you can just randomly one day you and your buddy decide to study and try to make money by hacking things? That sounds awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps having somebody else. You're not alone. You can have someone motivating you and showing you the stuff that they have done to get, motivating themselves.
I mean, and I love the fact that Bug Bounty, it's like, you don't have to have a degree. You don't have to apply for a job. Like it's just open, right? Like if you wanted to, if Facebook has it on there, you can just say, hey, I'm going to go and try to hack Facebook, right? You don't have to like be an official person.
Nope. You can go to, I think it's facebook.com/whitehat. Anyone could go sign up at HackerOne. You just have to follow the guidelines, and the policies are out there. There's no resume. There's nothing needed to sign up on any of these platforms. The only thing that's required is if you're going to get paid, you have to pay taxes. So they're going to ask you for a tax form at some point. But other than that, man, like there is no like, oh, let me see your resume. No, anybody can hack. The Department of Defense lets you hack us. Lets you hack them through HackerOne. All you have to do is go to, and who can say I've hacked the Department of Defense? I've hacked the Army and the Pentagon, and no one's came to my door.
That's amazing. Yeah, so people wonder about that, and that's how you can legitimately, legally do it. That's awesome. Is anyone else excited about that? That just sounds so fun. I know a lot of you are going to go sign up for HackerOne right now, and you should. I got a question from a guy named Jesser. He says, do you think CTFs are a good way for a newbie to start learning ethical hacking?
Yes and no. No, because it depends on what CTFs you do. Like, don't go do like these extremely like hard CTFs that are designed for the top players. But yes, if you do some of these like conferences that do CTFs, they're beginner friendly. There are some beginner friendly challenges. Try them all, because if you understand what the challenge is, some of the stuff that you have done, later on there will be write-ups and solutions that come out. You really go, oh, okay, that makes sense. Even if it doesn't make sense, read it anyway, skim through it, so you pick up some ideas and tools for the next one. You go, oh, this is similar to the one that I saw. I'm going to go try this idea. It's probably similar to it. But the CTFs like Try Hack Me, Hacker 101, and Hack the Box, they have beginner friendly ones. Like with Hacker 101, we teach you how to do these things like XSS and SQL injection. Then you go do it on a CTF. So absolutely, the CTF skills are transferable in the real world. They're either based on some scenario that I've seen, someone's research, something that's made these things vulnerable for people to want to design them to a particular way.
Okay, awesome. So, I mean, and real quick, for people who don't know what CTFs are, it stands for Capture the Flag, and what does that mean for a hacking situation?
So for a Capture the Flag, they give you, depends on what kind of CTF you're doing. So if you're doing a web CTF, we'll give you a website. You have to break it using some research we have done. Some of them are very hard. Some of them are super easy. You can figure out immediately. But you go in there and you break the site, and it gives you a flag, and each flag has points. So the harder the level, the more points you get. There are a ton of them out there. The beginner-friendly ones that I like are Pico CTF is really good. Hacker 101. If you want to do web stuff, ctfchallenge.co.uk. I think there's a Bug Hunter. The E in Hunter is a 3, I believe. Look it up. It's Bug Hunter. They're very beginner-friendly. There are tons, man. There's tons of them. Look into it, and don't be afraid to look into the solutions. Don't go look at the solution right off the bat. Try it out. Do spoilers. I've tried everything. How do I get past the first level?
Yeah, it's kind of like playing, like, I love your video game analogy, because like that's what I do. If I'm like playing this level and I'm like, okay, this is like 4th time I've tried to look for this, I can't do this, I'm getting the walkthrough, I'm Googling this sucker just to get past it, right? And you learn anyway.
Yeah, there's tons of them. Look up any CTF that are happening online. You would get tremendous amounts of value that you get out of CTFs is insane. You get to learn new skills, and you can pick the category of forensics, web, mobile, whatever you want to hack on.
Yeah, they sound fun. I've never done one myself, but I think I'll probably be doing some in the near future just to try them out. Now, how do you feel about, and I'm curious because you had your opinion on college, which I agree with. How do you feel about hacking certifications?
I don't have any of them.
Enough said.
But no, here's the thing. It's twofold. I don't have any of them because I don't like tests. But the thing is, like, if you're brand new to IT and you want to get into InfoSec, OSCP, CEH, Perfect. Go get them. If you have the cash, you have some scholarship, some credit cards you can throw this on, go do it. You know why? Because it gets you past HR. It gives you the fundamentals. But don't stop. Oh, I have my OSCP. OSCP is very hard, by the way. But I have my OSCP, I have my CEH, I have my SANS, whatever. Don't stop there. Like, keep learning more. And if you don't want to do an OSCP, again, like try Hackman Hack the Box, have OSCP paths to learn, like learning paths. You go and you go, I want to prep for OSCP. Then teach you the basics of networking. You don't have to pay, what I'm trying to say is you don't have to pay for the course. But you can go do these prep courses. You learn how to do networking, Nmap and Burp Suite and all these things. And they teach you all the basics, and you can do the machines that are ready for OSCP. It's built for people that want to take the OSCP test, so you can learn it. But if you have that certificate, it gets you past HR. It teaches you more than the basics, so you can become more familiar, and you realize the hacker mentality. How does a hacker think? And it gives you an overview of, oh, like I like this network hacking. Oh, I liked web hacking. You get to see what you're passionate about. Then you can start drilling down, doing more certs. John Hammond is a great content creator, huge in CTFs. He has a very good outlook on. He has a ton of freaking network and hacking certificates.
He's on my list to have on the show, so I'm gonna have to ask him about that.
Dude, John Hammond I did an interview with him. If you guys want to check it out, he's talked about, like, he has the best way of describing it. Like, I love certs. They're great. I learned a ton from it. Do it. And he says the same thing. You get past HR and it shows you where you want to learn. So but it's not a requirement, in my opinion.
So, I mean, you don't like tests. And now the OSCP, it's different from most tests, right? In that you're actually attacking a box and you have to just basically do a pen test report, right? It's not a typical exam.
Yep. It's more of a, hey, how do we shell this? They give you like 24 hours and like, 15 boxes, some ridiculous number of boxes, but you have to finish in a certain amount of time. And there's different methods. There's Windows boxes, there's Linux boxes, there's privilege escalation, there's web stuff, there's Nmap. There's like a ton of stuff you have to do.
Ooh, man, it's coming up for me, and you're scaring me a little bit. I'll have to get to studying.
It's fun, man. It's fun.
So if you had to go back and start over, would you start with certifications, or would you kind of do the same thing you already did?
I started with the books that are behind me, man. I have those books behind me for a reason. You can see them right here. It's the Web Hackers Handbook, Web Applications Hackers Handbook. Sorry. There is the Real Bug Hunting by Peter Jaworski, absolutely awesome friend. Kudos to him for writing this book. There's tons of books. I would start off with those books.
I'll put them all in the description after the live stream's done. But I'll have to put those in there.
They're really good books to start. Yeah, if it's hard to read, man, tell yourself 20 page a day. Start small, 10, 15 page a day, whatever is good for you, and read through them. I got into reading books because I applied for my quote unquote dream job, this company that I really want to work for. I'm not gonna drop their name, for good reasons. But I learned a big lesson. I went in thinking I knew everything about hacking, but then they asked me, how do you protect against these things? And I was like, yikes, I don't know how to do this. So I started buying books that teach you how to protect it. But then I realized this is how the developers think. It got me better at hacking. I was like, screw this. I don't want an engineering job anymore. I'm going to do more hacking again.
It just made you become a better red teamer. It's funny. So
books are definitely one.
So I'm curious, though, let's say someone starts going down the bug bounty path and they get a few bounties and stuff, but they're getting tired, kind of like you. I guess you would say you retired from the bug bounty space, and you still do it, but you don't do it professionally to depend on the income. What kind of job can someone look for and apply for with bug bounty experience?
So I like to use this example. A good friend of mine, he goes by the name of OX Techno Geek on Twitter, Joel Margolis. Love this guy so much. He's such an absolute awesome guy to work with. He came into one of our events through a CTF we hosted. So HackerOne does these events. We call him H1-XXX. The XXX is the area code that we go to. A lot of people know about H1702. It's our Vegas one. It's a 3-day event. We fly people from all around the world. You name it. We have flown people from Egypt, Dubai, India, from Argentina, from UK, Netherlands, you name it. We fly 50, 60 people in. We put them in nice hotels. We put them in Aria. We put them in like luxury hotels, right?
Man.
We pay for everything. We have open bar for the hackers. They come in, they hack. And Joel came in. We do CTFs where we also recruit hackers to come to the event if they don't have a resume on HackerOne. So Joel came in from a CTF. he hacked on a company. He got hired by the company. He moved from East Coast to Bay Area, and he works for this company. And he's not the only one. I can name a ton more. I can Peter Yaworski, the author of the book that I mentioned. He works for Shopify. He got the job because he submitted bugs to Shopify. I got hired at Hulu because I submitted a bug to Hulu, and I became an AppSec engineer for them for a year. There's so many people. There's so many people that have done this. Like, it's when you have the proof of concept of I know how to hack on my own, a job's gonna hire you immediately. And there is so many people, man. Those are just people that I can think of that are friends that I, off my top of my head, I could go and say they have gotten jobs. Even $1 million hackers have become directors at some companies now because they have had the street creds of, hey, I've hacked your company a number of times. Do you want to pay me so I can come and do this? People that have invested, that have created their own businesses around hacking. Shubham Shah, Shubs, if you look at him, he's an Australian hacker who created some cloud scanning company from Bug Bounties, and he's got his own thing going on. He has a bunch of customers of his own. So there's opens up a lot of doors. It's not just getting a job, but I know also people that have gone junior pen testing job because they learned on Hacker 101. They watch streams, they watch whatever, and they got into pen testing. They're making more money than they ever were. Like it's becomes a opportunity after opportunity if you put in the time and the efforts to get to it.
That's amazing. It's people just don't realize the opportunities that are available to them with the hacking career. Now, I have a question for you with the Hulu job. So you hacked Hulu legally. It was allowed, just so people know that if you're just tuning in right now. We got 1,400 people going, what? And you submitted their bounty, and they love what you did, so they hired you on their AppSec team. Now, at that point, was that job more blue teaming, like you're helping them secure it, or were you attacking it, and that's your way to help them secure it?
First, I want to say hi to Philip. My friend Philip is here watching, saying, "Hey, hi, Philip."
Hi, Philip.
So with Hulu, it wasn't that they hired me. I found this bug. I didn't tell them, "Hey, pay me" or anything like that. I literally emailed them. I was like, "Hey, sorry, I came across this. I don't want anything. I just wanted to disclose it to you guys. I use Hulu a lot. I want to make sure my stuff is secure. No pressure. You guys don't have to give me anything." They gave me a year of free Hulu subscription. Bam. A year later, when I was looking for jobs, Hulu had a position open. It was an AppSec engineering. It wasn't blue teaming. It was helping them teach their engineers secure coding, finding bugs internally, doing some pen tests and audits for it on our own. And I applied, and I put a reference as, hey, I found this bug. Big shout out to Eric Fay. He used to be a engineer there. He's no longer at the company. And I said, Eric knows who I am. And I emailed Eric, and I was like, hey, man, like, I just submitted my resume. I don't expect you to do anything special, but, I don't have a lot of certs. I'm still in college. I would love to, get a chance of a real interview and pass your HR. It worked.
Dude. Wow. So you were helping them helping the developers just learn how to write secure code, which I was interviewing someone a while back, and I'm surprised to know that really learning how to secure your code isn't a part of a lot of curriculum for colleges and stuff. They teach you how to write good code, but not necessarily secure code and protecting yourself from vulnerabilities, which is kind of crazy.
Dude, I did a talk on this, and an HR talk. I'm trying to educate HR folks. Like, stop doing the traditional, we want a job that's been open for, this position that's technology that's been around for 5 years, but we expect 10 years of experience. Like, this thing has been around for 5 years. How do you want 10 years of experience on it? So I did this HR talk. One out of the top 10 or 15 Ivy League schools have security baked into their computer curriculum. It's a requirement to graduate. One out of all of them.
My
the 10 or
gosh.
15 I was looked into.
That's insane. That's scary. Because at that point, you're depending on your security teams at your companies to defend you. Yep. When you should have your developers on the front lines immediately securing the code as soon as they're writing it. That's scary.
Yeah, it's crazy that we're not, active security isn't actively a part of our. It doesn't have to be coding. It's just teaching people how to use password managers. People using basic security, not putting in your password on every site you go to, phishing attempts and scammers, and people still fall for it. It's something that they should be taught at high school so people don't get scammed at the age of 14, 15 because of a phone call they got from IRS, who never calls you, actually.
It is crazy. The lack of awareness, the lack of education with this kind of stuff, which does well for a person looking for a hacking career, right? Because there's still a lot of vulnerabilities out there. Now, I wonder, what would you say is the most valuable skill set? Like, are you a programmer? Do you have development skills?
It's my favorite question. I don't. I don't know a
Interesting.
lot of programming languages. I'm very good at Bash. I can do a lot of stuff in Bash, but I still I still Google basic concepts in Bash. I learned Ruby, like 30% of Ruby, 40%, because everybody was doing Ruby back when I first started. So I wanted to learn Ruby on Rails, but I didn't get through it. Python is a good one to know, but it's not a
Mm.
requirement. I highly recommend learning a scripting language. I've done some PHP because I used to design websites a little bit, but I don't remember a lick of it anymore. I can't even write a basic PHP. But I know how to do enough. Like I know how to inject a PHP code to be able to say, hey, I can hack this website, or I know how to automate some of my work in different ways. Programming gives you understanding how to build a website, and programming are two different things. You can still learn how a website
Mm.
is made by installing WordPress and doing some customization versus becoming a full stack developer. But a lot of people that I know that are really good at programmers are also finding very good bugs, way better bugs than you could ever imagine.
Ah, okay, gotcha. Now, I know that there's the term script kiddie, right? And that's how would you define script kiddie? 'Cause it's always a derogatory term. It doesn't mean a great thing. You don't want to be a script kiddie. How would you define a script kiddie?
A script kiddie is somebody that relies on tools. They use tools and only tools to quote unquote hack without understanding how these things work. So I'm not saying don't go use tools and like, oh, you must be able to create your own tools if you want to be a real hacker. That's not what I'm saying. If you
Mm.
know how to use a tool and you know what this tool does and how it's built, like it's doing X, Y, and Z because you know what the process, you understand how to do it manually, but you're being efficient now by using these tools, then no, you're not a script kiddie. But if all you're running is scanners and downloading stuff from random forums and DDoSing people for fun, then you are definitely a script kiddie.
Gotcha. And I love that you cleared that up because a lot of people say, "Oh, you're a script kiddie if you don't write your own tools manually." And I'm thinking, well, this guy wrote this tool and it's amazing. Why would I go and reinvent the wheel? It does what I need
Yeah.
to do. I understand what Nmap is doing. I understand networking. I understand that I'm scanning for ports and I'm trying to find web vulnerabilities as part of my enumeration process. I'm not a script kiddie. I'm just using a tool. So that's cool to hear. Now I'm curious, what's your favorite? And I know you're probably running out of time here. We'll definitely have to have you back on if you don't mind, because
Absolutely, man.
people are loving this. What's your favorite hacking operating system?
So I personally enjoy hacking on a MacBook, but you don't need to have a MacBook Pro. Like on my streams, I use a Windows with a Windows subsystem. I have Linux on there.
Oh
I like
yeah,
anything with it.
WSL2.
Yep, I like a Linux terminal. I don't care if I like Ubuntu more than anything if I have a SSH, but the reason why I like Mac is just I can SSH into my box easier than Windows relying on the, Windows subsystem. But anything with a terminal. So get good at being able to live in a terminal to run stuff, to curl, nmap, loops, whatever you want to learn. Get used to it because it's going to become number one handy thing you're going to use probably.
So we don't have to use Kali? I thought we had to use Kali to hack.
Yeah, I don't think you need Kali, but Kali is great. I'm not trying to bash on him, but you're doing web hacking. Why do you need forensics tools?
True. Yeah, Kali is just like a buffet of tools that you don't really necessarily, you don't need all of them, right? You can install any of these tools on any Linux distro.
It's just Snipe, man. It's what it is. It's just to go-to distro. It's great. If you use Kali, good for you. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You have everything in the palm of your hands. But if you're a college student that just has a Windows machine and doesn't want to install Linux because I don't have the hard drive for it, subsystems, man. Like, install it. You have a terminal. Go buy a VPS. It's like $5 a month. That's what I use. That's what I started with. Now I spend a lot more than $5, but it's literally $5 a month. You spend that at McDonald's. You spend more than that on a Big Mac when you get it. It's $5 a month. Install it in anything you break. Guess what? You do RMFR/ on accident. You go back and you go reboot and reinstall, and it's not your personal machine. There's nothing going wrong with it.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to that point we made earlier that you have zero excuses. I mean, you can get a $5 VPS that's super cheap. You can go to AWS or Microsoft Azure, any of these cloud providers, and get their free tier and have access to a Linux box like that. So it's crazy what you can do nowadays. Now, I got one last question from someone on my Discord here, Mr. AWOL. He says, can you ask him what he would consider prerequisites for bug bounties?
So no prerequisite really. Well, it depends on your background, but I don't think there's any hard prerequisite. But if you want to get serious, learn how to use a command line in Linux, we talked about right now. learn how to spin up your own WordPress. Like go install WordPress. If you want to go to a step further, then get a VPS. Learn how to install Apache, SQL, PHP. Either even go for it doing it manually instead of installing LAMP, but install LAMP. I don't care. It works. Then understand how to set up a MySQL table, how to set up or MySQL table, how you want to say it. Set up a WordPress on there. Run your WordPress. Now go and change stuff manually. Change some code in there, and learn how these things work. But so step one, learn the basics. Then get into networking. What is a port? What is an IP address? What are different headers in a web browser? All these different things that you need to know. The fundamentals of what makes a website to communicate with your computer and back and forth. If you're really interested in stuff, shameless plug, go on Google and type in Bug Bounty resources for beginners. There should be a GitHub repo. It's created by me for this exact reason. It shows you.
And I'll put links all below in the description, so don't worry. I'll make sure it's all there.
There's a section that says for beginners. It literally talks about what is a header, what is a GET request, what is a POST request. You understand when I click submit, I'm making a POST request. And that's what a POST request means. And those are the things that you're going to mess with when you're hacking. So understand really what are those small bolts and screws that make a website happen, the things that happen in the background, and learn how to use the Google Chrome developers at the basics of it. And just get creative. It's just learning the basics, man.
Awesome. And I love that, because it's really, if you come from a background in IT, if you're an IT administrator, you already kind of have the background to step into hacking. You're just kind of flipping the script a little bit. And for people who are they know nothing about IT and they're like, oh, I want to become a hacker. Dude, you have to learn how it works. You have to you're hacking the system, and you have to learn how that system works. You can't just make it up. You have to learn what it does. So I know you probably have to go. Where can people find you?
So I'm on Twitter, social media, anywhere. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, you name it. I have it as NahamSec. You can find me online. If you enjoy content like bug bounty related, you want to understand more in bug bounties or see some of the findings I've done, I interview just like you do. I interview some of the top hackers that are just bug bounty specific. I ask them the same stuff. What do you have to do? Learn bug bounties, programming, whatever else. If you're interested in them, I highly recommend looking into these people. You don't have to watch my content. Go on Twitter and follow these guys. It's not just me. There's a ton of good people out there. But I'm under the name NahamSec, practically on any social media.
Awesome. So I'll put links below for all that. Dude, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your wisdom and insights. I know my community here is benefiting like crazy from this, and probably got them excited. They're probably all going to become bug bounty hunters now, so that's so cool. And hopefully I can have you back on. Hopefully I can try my hand at bug bounty, and I'll definitely be reaching out to you to say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Please help me. And
absolutely,
that should be
man.
Fun.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, this is our first time meeting just on this live stream, which sometimes happens with my guests. I'm like, hey, you're really cool. Let's go live, and we just meet when we get on the live stream. Anyways, guys, if you have more questions for him, comment below. I'll see if I can ping him for those, and hopefully not overwhelm him too much. And of course, go follow him. I'm sure he'll answer any questions within reason if you go tweet at him or something. And yeah, that's all we got, guys. We'll catch y'all later.
Thanks, guys.
You suckers thought I was done. No, I'm not. Like any good Marvel movie, we gotta have our end scene credits, and yeah, that's what we're doing right now. I like to take this time to kind of debrief you on a few things, and I like to give away some coffee. I'm gonna put a $20 gift code in the chat here to give away some of my coffee, NetworkChuck coffee. I do make my own coffee, or I sell my own coffee. I don't make it, grind it, or brew it, or anything. Oh, I do brew it, but I don't grow it in my backyard. Anyways, huge shout out to NahamSec for coming on. I know you guys probably have a ton of questions about bug bounty stuff. I still have a ton of questions, so we'll have to have him back on. Anyways, real quick, I'm going to put in the chat right now, free coffee. So mosey on over to networkchuck.coffee and get your cart ready. You know you have to be quick because people in the chat, man, they're quick. And you get a good bang for your buck because right now, I think it's right now. Let me make sure I'm not lying to you. Everything in my shop right now is 20% off. That includes my mug, and I actually have a shirt in there that I have not tested, so if you buy it and it looks stupid, it's your fault. I got a holiday blend coffee and everything. So yeah, 20% off everything in my store, hashtag code CoffeeHack2020. Ready, set. You ready? There it goes. Whoever uses that code first gets it, $20 gift card. If you try to use it and there's no money on it, well, you were too late. Sorry. Anyways, I appreciate you coming by, guys. It's fun talking to what I consider a real hacker. We often get lost in the weeds on, oh, Kali Linux, hacking, this, that, but it's cool to hear someone who made a career out of it, who now encourages people to get into this field, and they embrace the term hacker. Like, I love that. It's refreshing. People are like, oh, no, it's pen testers. It's pen testers. No, they're hackers. You're hacking, so it's really fun. And I'll put in the description and everything where to follow NahamSec and to find all the resources that he mentioned. Yes, I think I'm done. Real quick update on OSCP. I mentioned that I scheduled my OSCP for the December 11th, which is very soon. I'm actually going to delay that a bit. I'm going to focus on my CCNP first, which I'm going to finish on December 15th. OSCP, the reason I'm pushing it out is because I want to do it proper justice. I want to make sure I can document the process appropriately, and it's like NahamSec said, it's a killer exam, dude. Like, it's going to murder me. So I want to make sure I demo it properly. I show you guys what it's like and show you the experience. So it'll probably be in the new year that I show you that, early in the new year. And yeah, that's all I got. You guys are awesome. Go buy some coffee and let's start hacking. I'm kind of motivated to start hacking. How do you guys feel? Like, I'm ready to go legally. Don't DDoS anyone. Anyways, catch you guys later.
It's